In my previous lesson, I talked about lists, and you knew about order lists and unordered lists. And I want you to know that you can have a definition for the list items, and the definition list you'll be able to customize to get a particular type. It depends on how creative you are and how far you have been able to research into list items. And I want to rest assured that when it comes to CSS, and during the time when we'll be styling our pages, we will be able to style the airlines and make it nice and beautiful to look very nice. And I want you to know that it is this same technique we'll be using to do our navigation bars on the top of our page. For example, when you have a home page, about, and all these clickable links, you have a navigation bar, and this is the same technique we'll be using to produce them. So stick to this very seriously. And right about now I want to talk about forms. So I'm going to change the H1 to forms. I'll change the title to forms. I'll save this. Now we are doing forms. Have you been to a website before and you are required to give information about yourself? You are required to give accounts or anything which is not going to remain with you. You are going to have a clickable button which is going to submit your form. And what kind of information or what type of information were you required of? And for example, you visit a website which requires you to give your name, your email address, and your residential address, your telephone number, and you have a field which gives you the ability to type all these things, and afterwards you are done with it. You just submit your form. This topic is going to get us the same format which was used in development of such sites we've been visiting frequently. And we are doing a basic form, and after we have gone through every process of HTML, we can rest assure ourselves that we will also be potentially have control over our forms with PHP, which is going to process our forms, and MySQL, which is also a database programming language, is going to also store our forms. And we use CSS as well to start our page, but for now we are not doing PHP or any MySQL. Let's just learn about forms. Now, when you have been to a website which requires you to give your name, this is a simple technique. You input your name. It's just about typing your name, and the system receives your name. So in the process of doing that, it is known as inputting, or you are just giving information in an input field. So if you want to have a field which requires your name, you just have input tag. Yes, just have input tag, INPUT inside your brackets, and then you have input. So you can see how simple it is to have a field which requires you to give. So I type my name Isaac inside this field. So I have a nice input. So just input alone gives you a field where you will be able to give an input, and the default one is a text. You can type anything at all, and it's a text. So you just write the name against it like this, and this name is an information to tell you, the user, what particular requirement it is that this input wants to take from you, or what the site owner requires of you to give. So without this, there is no ability for you to know that it is your name that is required. So you have the name here, or you can say that the user should give us his first name. Then you can also copy the same thing, paste it down here. Then you require last name or other names. So you can see that they are all in one line. So we can do a BR on this one, just as for a start. So we have first name. Okay, we can also do 2 BRs. As time progresses, we know the dynamic ways of doing our list items. We have 2 BRs. Now we can also be required to give a password. When we are required to give a password, and then we can also have another input for password like this. Use copy the same thing, paste it down here, and I have a field for password. So now I can type my name, my last name, now, and my password, which is pass. Now wait a minute, you can see that our password is not supposed to have our password field revealed our password to us. It should be probably a hashed password or a hidden password, which is not revealed this way. So this brings about the input type. What type of input do we want? There are different kinds of input, and they all are revealed, or they all are just by these tags input. They are there and they happen with just these tags input, but the difference you can make is just to give them a type. So you can say that this input should have a type, which is text, and since this one will also require a text, we can give it the same type. Copy the same thing, paste it down, text. And now this type, we don't need an ordinary text, we need a password. So the type alone converts the text form to a password. So reload your browser. Now let's type this and that, and now my password is no more a text but a password in the type field against the input. So this input has a type. It is input as ordinary as any other input should be, but for now we need a particular type of input, and the type should not be a text, and the default is a text. So without the type, the input alone gives you a text. Now that we need a type, we give it a password. Now let's have another input type. Another input type, which says a button. Let me see below, and we have a button. Now let me do submit, meaning we want to have a submit button, and see it gives you a submit button. So it's very simple to do. So this is also an